一个特别特别漂亮的女孩子，白白净净的，然后她也来跑外卖。我觉得像我们这种没有条件的是吧，又不漂亮的，又像汉子一样的女孩子来这里跑也就算了，她一个这么精致的女孩子，这么好的条件，这么好的外形条件，随便做什么工作不好呢，怎么也来给我抢单子呢？是不是？那他也来抢也就算了，那还有一些人，他就是在单位里面上班，事业单位里面上班的，他下了班他还来给我们抢单子，没有单子给我跑，你们都把单子给我抢走了，我都要气死了。我跑一个活动这么难，
买两单，我求求你了呀！
你求我也给您派不了订单，师傅。帮你的话，那您桌上也叫
我8个小时跑3单，跑70块钱，我充电我都得花50，我车租，哎呦我的妈呀，我怎么弄啊？你救救我吧！我马上饭吃不上，要饿死了呀！
The man featured in this video is a delivery worker from China. With no orders coming in, he finds himself in a difficult situation with no money left for meals. Desperate, he calls the customer service department of his food delivery platform, pleading tearfully for more orders. Regrettably, the customer service representative informs him that they cannot increase his order volume. Throughout the 3-year pandemic, Chinese citizens have endured severe and indescribable lockdown measures. With the economy on the brink of stagnation, the number of jobs has dramatically shrunk. It was thought that once restrictions were lifted, normal life would promptly resume. However, contrary to expectations, China's economy didn't heat up after the end of the lockdowns. The manufacturing industry continued to slump, factory orders drastically declined, and a large number of companies fell into financial difficulties, going bankrupt one after another. Cases of worker unemployment, wage cuts, or non-payment of wages became frequent. The unemployed masses flooded the food delivery industry, but the excess of riders and shortage of orders meant it was tough to make money. Some analysts predict that China's future employment environment will only deteriorate further.
听说富士康真的要走了，没走的时候呢，个个都骂骂咧咧的，明明工价最高，还被污蔑是血汗工厂。现在啊，人家真的要走了，又哭爹喊娘，真的是端起饭碗吃饭，放下筷子骂娘。先不说营商环境好不好，起码主流舆论没有给别人应有的尊重。
Dongguan, Guangdong, known as the world's factory, has a thriving processing industry and attracts laborers from all over China. However, many factories in Dongguan have recently shut down. A significant number of factory buildings are idle, available for rent, or even industrial parks in entirety have gone bankrupt, painting a grim picture of the job market. Recently, a Chinese citizen captured the current state of an industrial park in Dongguan. All the shops' iron gates are tightly locked, devoid of people, presenting a desolate scene. The video shows that due to consecutive factory closures, an industrial park in Dongguan has become a wasteland. The glass door of a storefront is shattered, and the building stands empty. The escalators have stopped working, the handrails are covered with dust, and the steps scattered with various types of trash. Another man in Dongguan captured the situation in another industrial park. He disclosed that the scale of this industrial park is rather large, and the commercial area opposite the factories is not small either. Previously, at the peak hour of 6 p.m. after work, it used to be crowded with people and businesses were booming. But now there are hardly any people around after work hours. Multiple shops, including those in the best locations, have closed and are up for rent. The man filming lamented the immense changes. Street vendors who used to line the industrial area are now rare. The factories on the opposite side were all quite large, but it's really strange. Where have all these people gone? Shanghai is China's financial, economic, shipping, and commercial center. It is also an international metropolis and the city in mainland China where regional headquarters of multinational companies are most concentrated. However, since last year, various aspects of Shanghai's economy have begun to decline, with a significant number of physical stores going out of business, and even large supermarkets have not been spared. Analyzing the latest annual reports of Shanghai's three long-standing department store companies, Jiubai, Xujiahui, and New World, all of them have experienced a significant decline in their performance. Specifically, Shanghai Jiubai's revenue fell by 30.51% year-on-year, and net profit attributable to the parent company fell by 48.95%. Xujiahui's revenue fell by 22.33% year-on-year, and its net profit attributable fell by 76.3%. Likewise, New World's revenue in 2022 fell by 27.07% year-on-year, and its net profit attributable fell by a staggering 174.9%. According to a report from Times Weekly, Shanghai Jiubai, Xujiahui, and New World are located in the three bustling commercial centers of Shanghai's Jing'an District, Xujiahui, and Nanjing Road, respectively. The performance of these three major department store companies reflects the current difficulties faced by many department stores and supermarkets.
好像全部都倒闭了。哎呀，这个是以前是一个商场，叫凯德七宝广场，那家肯德基好像还开着。这边呢，连大的招牌都没有了，好乐迪全部都关了，所有的招牌全拆掉。像这么大的一个商场，这倒闭以后也不知道要做什么用，估计也只能后面再改造成商场，其他的也没办法接盘了。华为，还有威马汽车，威马汽车之前也说已经倒闭了的，这边也有一个体验店。以前住在这附近的时候，经常过来买一些东西什么的。
The Qibao Capital Land Mall in Shanghai, as shown in the video, has now become an abandoned building. According to annual reports disclosed by department store and supermarket concept stock companies in China, over 70% of these companies have reported a significant year-on-year decline in net profit. Incomplete statistics indicate that in 2022, more than 40 department stores in China bid farewell, among which 27 have been operating for over 10 years, representing the country's long-established department store industry. In recent years, traditional supermarkets such as Carrefour China have been broadly facing operational difficulties. The impact of the pandemic in 2022 has led to fewer customers, intensifying these pressures. In 2021, Carrefour China opened 3 new stores while closing 26 outlets, and in the first 3 quarters of 2022, it closed 54 stores without opening any new ones. In 2021, Walmart China closed 32 large-scale stores. According to the Daily Economic News, Watsons, a multinational health and beauty group under Li Ka-shing, closed 343 stores in China in 2022, roughly 1 store a day, marking its worst performance in nearly 9 years. Over the past 3 years since the outbreak of the pandemic, it has become commonplace for brick-and-mortar stores to close or cease operations.
2023年上海的市场有点萧条。我们这里呢是上海火车站可以看到这里是上海市中心这个生意最好的火车站了。但是呢，我们再看一看，这边已经有很多店都倒闭了。
The person filming the video explained that more than 20 shops have gone out of business, including a long-established chain store of over 200 branches in Shanghai. As to why so many stores have closed, he revealed that this year, many people working in Shanghai have encountered difficulties. Affected by the pandemic, a large number of people have lost their jobs, and migrant workers have chosen to leave Shanghai, resulting in a decrease in consumer spending power. This grassroots purchasing power is a key factor affecting the survival of small businesses. Shanghai's once bustling commercial streets now have few customers, with more stores than shoppers. At Shanghai's Oriental International Brand Street in Baoshan District at 8:40 p.m., There are very few pedestrians on the street, and it's eerily quiet. Even the normally crowded restaurants no longer exude the hustle and bustle of their past.
我不敢相信这里是大上海啊！大家可以看到，现在还这么早的一个时间，街上居然没有人。而且这一条街的话是商业街啊，可以这么说，商铺啊要比这个人还要多。看来今年的这个实体经济确实是不容乐观啊，人流量确实没有以前那么的多，但街上都是空的。根本就没人，所以说基本上现在目前开实体店基本上是亏钱了。
According to a survey conducted by the Industrial Research Center of the Beijing-based Finance and Economics magazine, in 2022, over 1.94 million companies were deregistered in China's 40 wealthiest cities, accounting for approximately 7% of the total. These 40 cities have a permanent population of 427 million, approximately 30% of the nation's total population. Data released by China's National Bureau of Statistics on May 27th shows that from January to April, the total profits of industrial enterprises above the designated size nationwide fell by 20.6% year-on-year. Among them, private enterprises saw the most significant decrease, with a drop of 22.5%. Of the 41 major industrial sectors as defined by China's official criteria, the total profits of 13 sectors increased year-on-year, 1 sector remained flat, and 27 sectors declined. Before the National Bureau of Statistics announced the disappointing industrial profit data, a series of economic indicators for April, including industrial output, retail sales, and real estate investment, indicated that China's economic recovery was losing momentum. A monthly survey conducted by the Chinese government on 3,000 factories showed that all 13 economic activity indicators, including new orders and prices, declined in April. The value added of industries above the designated size in April increased only by 5.6% year-on-year, far below the market's expected growth of 10.6%. So what exactly is happening with the Chinese economy? At the recent 2023 China Shanghai Entrepreneur Summit, Sun Liping, a professor in the Department of Sociology at Tsinghua University and a doctoral supervisor in economics, gave a keynote speech titled Finding Certainty in an Era of Uncertainty. It is worth mentioning that Sun Liping is the thesis advisor when Xi Jinping was studying for his PhD at Tsinghua University. Sun Liping posed questions. Why is it that so much money released by the central bank doesn't end up in the hands of ordinary people? Why is it that economic data is so robust on the one hand, but people's feelings about the economy are so bearish on the other? Why is it that numbers of economic growth look so good, but employment is so poor? Sun Liping revealed the truth. The authorities' important resources are all concentrated on infrastructure, high technology, including the advanced manufacturing industry to solve the bottleneck, military industry, government financing platforms, etc. The population and labor force covered by these sectors are decreasing, but they will occupy more and more resources and investment. In contrast, sectors related to people's livelihoods, such as service industries, cover an increasing population and labor force, but the resources they are receiving from the government is diminishing. Sun Liping pointed out that in the coming years, China will face a potentially lengthy period of economic contraction for 3 reasons. Firstly, the era of large-scale concentrated consumption in China is over, with housing and automobile consumption reaching their peaks. Secondly, the increasingly severe international environment now faces a process of dismantling and restructuring after globalization. Thirdly, the scar effects of the pandemic have led to a society with diminished desires. Sun Liping believes that the 3-year pandemic, whether for the economy or for people's lives, has been a heavy blow. What I worry about is a situation moving towards another extreme. while the authorities try to recoup the lost 3 years by greatly increasing the intensity of stimulating the economy, leading to a new round of economic overheat, rising inflation, and rapidly increasing asset prices. And then perhaps comes a bunch of unfinished projects.